So, in this next session, KID will explore the dynamic legal and regulatory issues of being a child online, plus, examine how to transform consent, age assurance, privacy, and protection to make the gaming experience for the hundreds of millions of kids and teens playing around the world more empowered. So, without further ado, Timothy Ma.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and fellow visionaries, thank you for joining me today. It is a profound honor to stand before you at the Games for Change 2024 Festival. Well, before I start, let's do a fun exercise. And I need everyone's help here to answer my questions. Wait, let me see if I can. Sorry, it's not, the slides are not working. Oh, that's the wrong slide. Not a professor yet, and definitely not from the Netherlands. Sorry about that.
We could all gather around the laptop.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. There you go. Okay, awesome. So let's do this fun exercise. Given that the title is Knock Knock Kids. So I will say knock knock, and you say
Yeah.
ooh, lettuce. Let us talk about how to empower kids in the digital playground. Thank you. But first of all, I think the key question is, what is a kid? So when I prepared this presentation, my younger daughter said, me. And I asked her, how do you know that you're a kid? And she said, very sweetly, because I'm forever your baby. Yes, determining who qualifies as a kid can be a very personal matter and relies on various factors. And these factors include family recognition, geographical location, cultural heritage, education status, and much more. And additionally, in the online realm, the digital literacy also plays a role.
Yeah.
Furthermore, there are legal definitions concerning who is a child. And not surprisingly, that's even more complicated, as you can see from this map of digital consent age. So let's put a pin in that for now and instead move on to something a little bit more concrete, which is me. So who am I and why should you care what I'm saying at all? As you can see, my name is Timothy Ma, the second from the right, or from the left from you. I'm one of the co-founders and chief legal officer at KID, a technology company working to democratize access to online age-appropriate experience by kids and teens around the world. We're new, but my co-founders and I aren't, as you can see my age. Previously, I was the data protection officer at Tencent, where I looked after all things related to data and privacy outside of the Chinese mainland. I'm also a parent of two wonderful girls, and today's topic is extremely important to me personally, as I want to do whatever I can to create an age-empowered access for them online. The experience of my co-founders here, Kieran Donovan, Jeff Wu, Julian Corbett, and our CTO Akash, span from top law firms to social media companies to game companies of different sizes. What brought us together was a very simple yet powerful idea. Kids and teens online experiences should be empowering. And so when we embarked on a mission to harness the power of technology to create meaningful change and transform how kids and teens get access to the digital world, we envision a fundamental change in how kids and teens can have an age-appropriate experience online without having to suffer from exploitation or misuse. We will also want to create a future where parents and legal guardians can take an active role in shaping how kids and teens experiences in the digital world and taking into consideration what's best for them. And we call this age-empowered access. But why is it important? Well, first off, age-empowered access isn't a buzzword. It's a fundamental approach to safeguarding our kids and teens' online experiences. In essence, it means equipping our digital youth with the necessary tools and educate to navigate the digital landscape safely and responsibly. This involves teaching them about privacy, how to recognize potential dangers online, and instilling an understanding on the long-term implications of their online actions. And finally, with the help of parents or legal guardians, age-empowered access allows kids and teens to engage with content that is suitable for their age group, thereby fostering a healthy, safe, and enriching online experience for them. Obviously, it is easier said than done. The internet is fast and constantly evolving, making it very challenging to monitor and control what kids and teens are exposed to. Today, kids and teens are digital natives who grew up with technology surrounding them. Their familiarity with digital devices often outpaces their understanding of the risks associated with them. So from social media platforms to educational websites and gaming communities, kids are exposed to a wide range of online environments, each with its own sets of benefits and risks. Or to put it simply, age-empowered access is the desire to put the best interests of our digital youth first and allow them to enjoy the opportunity to enjoy the benefits of being online whilst minimizing potential harm. You may be saying this to yourself, well, Timothy, that sounds like a win-win. Who doesn't want that? And you're right. But unfortunately, much like feeding your kid broccoli, the task is a little bit more complex than you think, because every kid is unique. And not to mention that every country is different, every culture is different, and every family is different. And on top of that, laws and regulations are highly fragmented around the world. Remember the map that I've shown on digital consent age? Under laws, what is a kid ranges from 13 to 21. And in fact, the map that I've shown you oversimplifies the problem. For example, just in the US, the age of digital consent is different across states, as many of them have their own privacy laws. And the complexity of these laws and regulations make it very difficult for developers to create an age-empowered access. And because one size doesn't fit all, it puts companies in a very awkward position where they have to choose between creating multiple versions of the same game to ensure legal compliance or figure out something else. Well, let's look at what the industry is currently doing. Oh, it's not working again. The industry is not working. Okay, there you go. In most cases, online services deny kids and teens altogether. These are some extracts of the terms of service of some of the most popular online services that explicitly state if you are under a certain age, in most cases under 13, you should not be signed up for the service. Others create an age gate like this that doesn't work to verify age and location. Let's look at this. What do you think the kid would pick? Would they simply lie to get into the game whilst exposing themselves to all sorts of online harms that they're not even aware of? Or would they really not click on the confirm or the trust me button over here because they're under the age of 13? And in fact, we know that many kids pick when they reach an age gate, which is January 1st, 1900. That's the date millions of kids put as their birthday when they're encountering an age gate. And let's ask ourselves why that is the case. Now that we have a grasp of the industry's practice, let's pinpoint the issues arising from this situation. Due to the dilemma faced by young digital users of either having to provide false information about their age or encountering age restrictions, online platforms or service providers are unable to offer them experience suitable for the age group or their particular circumstances. Consequently, children might be getting access to content or features that are beyond their digital maturity level. Well, you might ask, what if the online service providers implements an age gate in compliance with the law and seeks for parental consent? Let's just look at this user flow for a minor to get parental consent to get into one of the most popular games in the world. Do you think the kid would be bothered to go through the process, which, based on our own testing, took over 30 minutes with the parent sitting right next to the child? Do you think that some parents who are already dealing with a time deficit might choose to instead encourage their kid to lie or even refuse to grant access to their kids because they simply don't have the 30 minutes to spare? And worst of all, if the connection is lost in the process, this pink screen of death appears. The minor and the parent will need to go over the whole process again. So research shows that kids and teens say they want an age-appropriate experience to avoid online harms like cyberbullying and grooming. If the onboarding process is too cumbersome, many would choose to instead lie about their age. After all, as we all know, kids are super smart. The involvement of parents and legal guardians is also essential to the idea of age-empowered access. But when technology advances at a record pace, parents may have difficulties in understanding the harms that their kids and teens are exposed to, meaning that while they may choose to allow their kids and teens access, it might be difficult for them to provide meaningful guidance to their kids on how to deal with these harms. So it's equally important that kids and teens and their parents understand those risks and develop skills and a sense of responsibility when engaging with the online world. So now that we've defined the problem, let's talk about solution. In order to create an age-empowered access, we know we need a couple of things. First, and most importantly, we have to make the kids visible, which means we'll need to create a process that allows and empowers kids to be identified. That process needs to account for differences in culture, in values, as well as customizable in a way that accounts for the uniqueness and digital maturity of each individual. And very importantly, at the same time, we have to design the process with privacy and safety in mind. Well, sounds like an impossible task, and that is why we've created KID. As I said at the top of my presentation, I'm a dad. My co-founders are too. It is deeply personal to all of us that we find a way to create a process to make it easy for kids and teens to experience online communities safely, but at the same time, without limiting the access. Our solution is a set of tools that work together to make all this happen seamlessly for all involved. At the heart of that is the compliance database that we've created by working with current and past regulators around the world, as well as NGOs, kids and teams themselves, the parents, the industry, and legal experts. We compile all that expertise of children's privacy and online trust and safety to create a database that covers over 200 jurisdictions. This database is able to answer every single question like, what is a kid? To a very complex and practical questions like, what should game publishers do when they discover CSAM or explicit content on their platforms? This database not only empowers our clients to understand and have a practical guidance on how to comply with laws and regulations around the world, It also empowers our technology, which game publishers can seamlessly integrate to comply with global laws and regulations and provide the age-appropriate experience for the digital youth. This then translates to a single sign-on that is easy for parents and kids to use across games, no matter the platform or where they are playing in the world. On top of that, our technology also allows parents, legal guardians to manage various features that are made available for the kids and teens within their gaming experience. These tools can be tailored by the parents based on the uniqueness of each and every digital youth, considering many factors such as their digital maturity and potential harms based on different game features, cultural values, etc. And while I'm obviously very proud of our solution, that doesn't mean it's the final answer. What's important is that as an industry as a whole, we find a way to fundamentally and proactively transform the digital experiences of our youth. By tackling the complex issues facing kids and teens, parents, and online service providers, it is not impossible for us to ensure that online interactions are age-appropriate and safe. In many ways, it is our duty as well, as we've pioneered the online generation. Together, we can create a secure, trusted, enjoyable online world for the next generation. I would like to end my presentation with this quote. It's not about telling kids what they can't do. It's about giving them the right tools to discover what they can. Well, thank you again for having me today. Together, let's empower our future generation online. I look forward to our fruitful discussions throughout this year's Game for Change Festival. Please follow our socials by scanning the QR codes on this page. Thank you for listening.